I'm joined by Jack Pearce after watching the Rooks fight back from 2-0 down to 2-2 against a very strong Enfield team. Jack, great for the neutrals, but how would you sum that up?
It's been pretty typical of our performances this season at home. Firstly, you have to give credit to the opposition because they've had a good season on the field so far. They're up the top of the league, and the hardest thing in football is scoring goals. And as we say to our team every week, you cannot afford to concede 2 goals because you very seldom score 3 in football. If you're playing good teams, it's very difficult to score 3 goals. So if you give 2 goals away, the best you can hope for is a point, really. And if you want to try and play the way we want to try and play, unfortunately, it means you have to trust players to not make irresponsible passes in their own half of the field. And one of the 5 main reasons goals are scored is giving the ball away unexpectedly in your half of the field. You can always understand if someone's put under really good pressure, but when there's absolutely no pressure on the player and they pass to the opposition, you have this counter-attack that people are not expecting it, so they're not in a defensive mode thinking-wise, and you finish up then having to, and psychology. The psychology of the game is goals change people's attitudes and everything. Now, if you take their first goal, it was quite an even start, but the first goal is that we're not very good defensively in the air. So the one area that you try and do is not give away needless free kicks. And unfortunately, Calvin, who is a very good player, a very energetic player, he tries to win every ball. And you need to have that discipline when it might not be your ball, just to hold off, let the player get there first and you defend it. But he clipped his heels, and in the modern game, that is a foul. We then created the second crime. We decided to hold the line for an offside. But if the one in the centre of the goal makes the run and the centre person with him decides not to go, but the person on the far side drops in, then you're gifting them a goal. I don't like playing offside or holding the line. I'm a great believer it lets people off the hook because different people do everything. So if you go with your man, then in my opinion, you know who to blame if something goes wrong. You can't say there's miscommunication. Go with your man, deal with it. But from their point of view, it's a good goal. We then had a situation where Ethan, for the second week running, under no pressure, passes the ball to the opposition. So you're 2-0 down in 11 minutes, was it? And that is a bit of a mountain to climb against a team that's second in the league, full of confidence. So our reaction from there has been excellent. It's been excellent. We've had an excellent reaction. We got a goal before half-time, which was good. We then had a bit of good fortune because once again we made a poor error of judgment and they could have had a third, but we got away with it. And then we had a good second half. Once they went down to 10 men, they're going to just sit there and try and frustrate you, which is going to be difficult because, you got less space to work in. But we still managed to create 3 good chances, which we didn't take one of them. And then you've got to rely on a cross that would grace any ground in the country and an easy knock-in to get the second. So if you look at the goals we score and the football we create to get there, and then you look at what we do to give away goals, there is no comparison. And I'm absolutely delighted with the effort the players put in. The effort they put in and the way they tried to pass it, with the psychology of what's going on in the last month of losing games with that and doing it all again, giving away unexpected goals which you shouldn't concede. It's been a real uphill battle, and I can only say how pleased I am with the attitude. But we have got a problem, and unfortunately the problem is we're not clinical enough in front of goal. We're a young side, but we're not clinical. And we have this horrible habit of, and it's not just one player, it's a multitude of players who continue to pass the ball unexpectedly to the opposition in our half of the field. And when we were 3-1 2-all, I said to the people I was sat with, do not worry, the best chance of the last 10 minutes will fall to Enfield. And it will be, once again, an irresponsible pass which you won't expect, and it won't matter. I said, whoever it is, there's no point blaming that individual, because it could be anybody. So they're all capable of doing it. Unfortunately, it was Geordie who'd had a very good second half, but once again, under no pressure, he passed the ball straight to them, and Amadou has to get us out of jail. And then we could have actually come in here. We've gone in there, we're quite pleased, but it could be that we actually lost today. And that would have been a great injustice on the game. But we cannot continue to give goals away so cheaply, because we have to work for all our goals. Now, that comes down to two. Do we change our style of play? Because one way of eradicating giving the ball away in your half is to, yes, kick it into their half. And then you've got 80 yards to get the ball back in. Unfortunately, we most probably have to change 7 or 8 players. And I don't know where I could find 7 or 8 players, because there's no way our forward line you could play a long ball to them. It's just totally, it would be suicide to do that. So we need to keep playing that way. We need to hope that players adjust, and but it will be difficult.
Well, I spoke about it last week to Robbie at Haringey. How good is it to see your Nathans and your Geordies getting them positions? Because both of our goals today were from about 3 or 4 yards out. We don't often score goals like that, but the last couple of weeks we've proven, get the players in the box, get good delivery. Joe Dandy's delivery, like you said, for the second goal, he couldn't miss. And Nathan was there at the right time in the first half. How good is it to see them players getting in them areas?
It's encouraging. It's very encouraging. But we also created 3 other chances second half. And really, one of them has to go in. You cannot miss, we had a good chance first half with Kane from a corner. We had another one first half where there was a save. We had 3, we've created 5 chances. Besides the 2 goals, we've created 4 or 5 chances where you're more surprised you don't score than that you miss. Are you with me?
Yeah.
And that is a major problem with the club. Our goals for, we've got great spirit, we've got a good football ethic, and we've worked hard. But it's disappointing, because I said in the pre-team talk, all the teams in the top half, apart from us, be Enfield, will win today. They will all win, and they have.
Yeah, all the top 9 won apart from Enfield. But Jack, another positive sign, of course, you were sat next door to me against Haringey. We wasn't offside once today. How pleasing is that?
Well, that's very pleasing, but then, no disrespect to Enfield, they did sit deep. I know I'm being a bit, a vice versa type of thing, but they did sit very deep. You would have to struggle to be offside against them today, because they did sit very deep, which they had to once they went to 10 men, and we can't get away from that. They were with 10 men, and we have got a lot of work to do, love. We can beat anybody, but we're also capable of losing to everybody. We're too generous in the goals we give away, far too generous.
So we're going on. Of course, there's no league game next Saturday, but in the week we travel to Bexhill in the Sussex Senior Cup. Are you thinking of resting a few first team players, and bring back a couple of fringe players, or are you planning on putting your strongest team out?
Look, the Senior Cup is very important to the club, but we have got to play some of our young people that haven't had the opportunity to play. We've got to give them the opportunity to play. We've got to do that, and they will get the opportunity, and that's where we are. But you can't put them all in at once all the time. But the biggest blow today is losing Harvey. Harvey's been exceptional over the last 4 or 5 games, and that was a major body blow to us today.
Well, is there any update on his injury? Because we did see him limping off. He went down. Harvey doesn't go down unless he's hurt, so it must be quite bad.
Yeah, it is. He's done his hamstring. He'll be out for a while, which is a shame. But, you know, we just can't seem to get certain... but all clubs have it. But, you know, when I look at the opposition, I think we're a better team than them.
We proved it. We proved it, mate.
But we're not getting the points that our ability warrants. But the goals we give away are so amateurish. You have to ask yourself, will it change?
Well, on the bench there was a bit of to in and from. I got a bit carried away in the commentary box. There was players going down, time wasting. But I think Bognor discipline. We only had one caution. I think they had 5 in the book and 1 off. Yeah. Which the sending off was maybe he shouldn't give the referee an option there, kicking the ball away the way he did. But how do you make the referee's performance? Because I thought in a tough game, tough weather, he done okay.
Didn't have a problem with the ref. No, I thought he handled it well. I thought he handled everything well. I'm just disappointed for the fans because I thought it was a good game of football. I thought we played well, but that was it.
Well, Jack, appreciate the honesty, mate, and we'll go on to Wednesday and we'll see you then, buddy.
Cheers.
Cheers.
No problem. All the best. And, you know, thanks for the fans that turned up today because
6-9-2, Jack, and Portsmouth are at home as well.
You know, our support this year has been excellent, and I'm just sorry I can't give you the results that maybe our football deserves at times, but I understand the frustrations with the goals we give away.
But Jack, 2-0 down, second in the league to 2-2. It's not all bad.
No, there's lots of encouraging signs.
Yeah, we'll go on to Wednesday, Jack. Cheers, mate.